I think, in order to balance out the seriousness of this chapter, since we have finally arrived at the great duel between Plucky and Ceasar, I need to do something special. So, I hope you enjoy what I've got cooked up, because today, it is time to duel. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to White Deer Park. I'm Tucker, and this is my co-host, Dale. Welcome, everybody! Today, we've got an amazing duel here, and it's between the Red Fox leader and the Gray Fox leader. Here's some context for this duel. Ceasar has been trying to kill his traitor, the daughter that he sees as a traitor, named Scarlet. But Plucky has offered a deal with him, his life for hers. The rules are quite simple. It's a duel to the death. A death battle, if you will. Whoever wins will be allowed to decide Scarlet's fate. Technically, whoever wins will still allow Scarlet to go free while they stay dead. But, anyway, the battle will begin soon enough. And it will end when one competitor is too beaten to move or dies. That's right, Tucker. That's right, Dale. Alright, the combatants are set. Let's end this feud once and for all. It's time for a death battle! Ceasar charged at Plucky, teeth and claws bared. Plucky was ready and dodged the old Gray Fox's first attack. His intention was to avoid and evade Ceasar's first lunges at him, so as to examine his fighting style and hopefully find a weakness. Plucky knew he was outmatched, both in strength and endurance. If he was to survive, let alone win, he would have to rely on his superior agility and cunning. The match has begun, and that was a great dodge from Plucky there. That's right, old Ceasar's gonna have to speed up if he wants to catch him. As Plucky dodged another of Ceasar's attacks, he noticed the Gray Fox's frustration with his evasion. Soon, Plucky decided to lay his own blow on his adversary. As Ceasar leapt to him again, Plucky's moved right, and then bit into the Gray Fox's left shoulder. Oh! A great first attack from Plucky there! Did you see that, Dale? I can't believe it. I thought that Ceasar was going to get the first blow in. Sorry, just reading this. Plucky had first blood. Ceasar was almost shocked, but at least now he had the chance to attack the Plucky Red Fox properly. With Plucky still biting his shoulder, Ceasar in an instant turned and swept his front right paw across Plucky's face. They both fell to the cold, wet stone, having both been off balance. Ceasar had now drawn blood. The scratches on Plucky's face were neither deep nor severe, but still bled freely. And that right there is an attack from Ceasar. Looks like Plucky's gonna have to step it up a notch, eh, Tucker? Yeah, that's right, Dale. This time Plucky lunged at the Gray Fox first, and Ceasar met him equally. Standing on their hind legs, they grappled fiercely. Plucky made a bite for Ceasar's neck, but barely caught his ruff, and Ceasar clawed across his right shoulder. This grapple lasted long. Repeatedly and violently did the two foxes claw, bite, and snap at the other, growling and snarling furiously as they did. Oh, wow! That is vicious right there! Yeah, one of them is going to have to back down soon, and it doesn't look like it'll happen anytime soon. Ceasar was in fact surprised that Plucky fought with such brave ferocity. He was almost impressed, but the Red Fox was still his enemy. Plucky was feeling the strain, but he endured it and put aside any of the pain Ceasar had inflicted on him. They both continued to fight. Already with the coupling wounds and poor weather conditions, both foxes were beginning to tire, but neither gave up. With each passing moment, the thunderstorm grew louder and more intense as the fight progressed, as if mimicking the plight between them. As the rain grew heavier, the bare rock grew slipperier. Eventually, during their grapple, the two foxes slipped and fell hard onto the stone ground. Unfortunately for Plucky, he fell hard onto his left side, hard onto his left leg, the leg with his worst scar. It bled again, and Plucky could feel it. That leg was going to be the death of him if he wasn't careful. What Plucky didn't know was that Ceasar had noticed that injury. He now knew Plucky's weaknesses. His almost literal Achilles heel. They paused for a moment, both catching their breath after their stumble. The rain that had almost drenched them already did have a silver lining. It was soothing to the cuts Plucky and Ceasar had inflicted on the other, and allowed for most of the blood to wash away through their fur.
It looks like they finally came out of the grapple. They're tired, but they're still not backing down, eh, Dale? That's right, Tucker. The only question is, will they still be able to carry that momentum all the way through to the end of the fight?
You're a worthy adversary, I'll give you that much, Ceasar taunted.
As are you,
Plucky taunted back.
Now let's finish this! Oh, this could be it. Let's see if the plucky Red Fox can follow through on his words, Dale. Tucker. Well, I'm Dale. Gladly.
They both charged the other again, and the battle continued.
Come on, Plucky! Everyone, cheer for him! Cheer as loud as you can! Fox, Vixen, everyone, hurry!
Away from the fight, Fox, Whisper, and Scarlet were running towards the makeshift arena swiftly, Fox leading. Perry was flying above them, easily keeping up, despite through the now thickening rain. None of them knew what they could expect when they all saw Plucky again. When they reached the tree line, Perry had perched on a high branch underneath the canopy, staying silent while the foxes came to an abrupt halt. Some of the Grey Fox spectators averted to look at the newcomers, but did nothing. No one could interrupt the duel, for it would void the deal Plucky and Ceasar had made. They all stopped and looked out to the bare stone clearing, the cliff edge the far side. In the center, they could see the red and Grey Fox were already fighting, tumbling, leaping, and lunging at the other, as if in a form of aggressive, badly choreographed dance.
What the... Hey, Tucker! It looks like we got some newcomers over here.
Yeah. Oh, you're right, Dale. Newcomers. And I think that's the Farthing Fox. Plucky!
Scarlet bellowed with pure worry. Not that Plucky could hear her through the storm or the fight. She attempted to run up and help him, but Fox suddenly held her back.
No,
Fox commanded. We can't interfere. Scarlet didn't say a word. She couldn't even think of a word.
But, Fox, we can't just do nothing. I can't just sit here,
Whisper cried. We have to, Whisper. That's how a duel works, Fox spoke reluctantly. We can only hope Plucky emerges victorious. They continued to watch Plucky and Ceasar's duel nervously. Scarlet watched agitatedly. She was quietly fretting and releasing several whimpers of worry for her mate. She noticed too that this was the stone plateau that she had seen in her nightmare, the one where she had depicted Plucky's demise. Scarlet would never forgive herself if it came to the worst. Plucky was only doing this for her sake, and their cub's sake. Whisper too was fretting. The first time she had seen her son in 6 months, and it could possibly be the last time she ever would. It was more than the mother could bear, but she continued to watch, praying for Plucky's safety. Fox watched with a look of fortitude. This reminded him well of the time of his duel with the infamous Scarface. He himself was outmatched then, but he still came out victorious. Fox knew there was just as good a chance Plucky would too. Plucky had his blood, and the blood of Bold through his veins. And it showed. Fox, Friendly, and Ranger had taught Plucky well how to fight, enough to give hope that he would emerge triumphant.
Come on, Plucky! Just beat him! You can do this! Please! Just win!
It looks like the battle has continued from over here, Dale. That's right, Tucker. Those two ain't giving it an inch.
Plucky and Ceasar continued to brawl and batter the other, charging, leaping, clawing, and biting, all while releasing very violent snarls and roars. However, the noise of the dueling foxes was drowned out by the much louder rumble and crash of thunder above them. The great tempest matched the mood of the situation perfectly. The red and grey fox may have been fighting for only several minutes, but it felt much longer to both of them. Both were injured, both were tired, both were in pain, both still fought ferociously.
Do it for Bold, Plucky! Do it for Scarlet! Do it for Dash! Do it for your friends! Your family! Everyone! Everyone! Lend Plucky your energy! I don't care if this is a Dragon Ball Z! Give him enough willpower to finish this!
They entered another vicious grapple, though this time Plucky backed off when his weak leg ached. He hoped to get a breather, but Ceasar followed through as Plucky attempted his temporary retreat, pushing Plucky back until the red fox slipped on the cold, wet rock, falling to the ground.
Holy shit! I can't believe it! Plucky's down! This could be it!
No, please!
With this opening, Ceasar went for Plucky's weak leg as he attempted to stand, and found it. The old grey fox's teeth sank deep into Plucky's front left leg, into his already bleeding scar. The pain was excruciating. Plucky could have thought he had been shot a second time as he fell back to the floor with a loud gasp of agony. With Plucky subdued on the ground, Ceasar went for the kill, and immediately removed his teeth from the red fox's leg, and sank them unmercifully into Plucky's neck.
Right in the neck!
Sorry, just reading a story.
This could be it for Plucky, guys. Could Ceasar have won the duel?
No! Please, no!
Plucky could have screamed from the pain and shock, but the only noise he could make was gasps and moans, and a horrible choking sound as he struggled underneath Ceasar's overpowering strength. He could almost feel the life being squeezed out of him. With each millisecond he grew weaker and fainter as Ceasar's jaws grasped harder and harder around his neck. Blood ran thick and freely from the wound. But Plucky was not going to die like this.
Come on, Plucky, you're not going to die like this! Get up! Get up!
In desperation, he used his claws to throw off his would-be killer. His one hind leg cut deep and drew blood on Ceasar's thigh, and with his forelegs he mauled at the grey fox's chest. It wasn't enough to throw him off, until Plucky lifted his right paw and scratched deep across Ceasar's left eye.
Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, Plucky has he's just scratched Ceasar's eye out. He may as well have just cut it out completely.
Yes! Go, Plucky, go, Plucky, go, go, go!
Impossible! Plucky's back in the fight!
Ceasar let go and staggered backwards with a cry of pain and frustration, while Plucky gasped and panted with relief, but stayed unmoving on the ground, attempting to catch his breath. He had enough time, for Ceasar was attempting to soothe his eye, wiping away blood with his left paw. Plucky had caught it deep. It would leave the old grey fox with another scar, but fortunately for Ceasar had not cut into his eyeball.
How's it like that, Ceasar?
You can't kill Plucky! At the edge of the arena, Fox, Whisper, Scarlet, and Perry watched nervously as Plucky lay motionless on the ground. They would have been in despair, but they could see he was still breathing. I need to brighten up my phone a little bit because, sorry I couldn't see the text there. Come on, Plucky. Get up, Fox muttered influentially under his breath. As if he had heard his grandfather's words, Plucky shakily stood to his legs, but soon became firm where he stood, resolute and unfaltering.
Plucky stood back up, ladies and gentlemen! Now that's a bold red fox right there, proud and resilient. It looks like he's still in it. Ceasar better watch himself. You're damn right, Dale.
This time Plucky charged at Ceasar and caught him off guard. Plucky rammed it to his side, forcing him over, but Plucky wasn't prepared for Ceasar's next move. What? From stationary on the ground, he leapt at Plucky, diving for his neck again. No! Luckily, he only caught Plucky's ruff, but he still had a good hold on him. With a fit of rage and almost abnormal strength, Ceasar threw Plucky around towards the edge of the cliff. Plucky was given so much momentum he slipped further, resorting to digging his claws along the stone to stop himself. But not good enough. Plucky's rear was now dangling from the cliff edge, trying desperately to lift himself up, but there was no grip on the vertical edge. Plucky was helpless. The only thing holding him up were his claws, from his front paws digging and scratching the stone.
Oh no! It looks like Plucky's hanging from a thread, Dale. Tucker. You're right, Dale. Is Ceasar gonna try and push him off?
Come on, Plucky!
Ceasar sauntered triumphantly over to the helpless red fox dangling from the cliff. Plucky still desperately tried to lift himself up, but it was in vain. Ceasar was soon stood before him, and suddenly and cruelly dug his own front claws into Plucky's legs, attempting to make him let go, and fall to his death. It was then, as he dangled from the cliff edge, Plucky looked between Ceasar's legs, and noticed the far side of the stone plateau. Scarlet, his mate, was standing there. His heart warmed for a moment when he saw her. Stood between his mother and his grandfather. At least he had seen them all one last time. Scarlet was safe now, and so were his unborn cubs. Plucky's work was done. He knew this was it. There was nothing to save him now. But he wasn't about to go alone.
It looks like this could be it, guys.
With one last look to his distraught mate, mother, and grandfather, at two, he noticed a jet-black falcon perched in the tree above them. Plucky soon turned his gaze back to his gray fox foe. Plucky gave him a cruel look, and then initiated his endgame. With his remaining strength, Plucky released his claws from the rock surface, and turned them over to dig them deep into Ceasar's front legs firmly, and then pushed from the cliff edge with his hind legs.
Oh no! Plucky's gonna take Ceasar with him!
Holy hell! Dale! I know, Tucker!
No!
Scarlet screamed full of dread as she witnessed Plucky disappear off over the cliff, dragging Ceasar with him. All the observing foxes watched shockingly as both the dueling foxes disappeared from view. The fall may have only lasted seconds, but it felt much longer. Plucky and Ceasar free fell in the air, eventually plunging into the raging torrent of the river rapids beneath them in the cliff. Scarlet, Whisper, and Fox ran to the cliff edge, as did several of the Grey Fox spectators, including Tyrion. They all scanned the river rapids nervously, looking for any sign of Plucky and Ceasar. But there was none. Perry, too, wasted no time from launching off his perch, and took to the air with no regards to his own safety, flying through the storm. He flew over the cliff and too scanned along the river rapids. Scarlet saw him and began to follow the cliff round, hoping the falcon would see something. Perry soon returned after a while. He couldn't keep flying in the intense rain.
Anything?
Scarlet asked, openly weeping. Scarlet, I'm sorry, Perry began sadly. I couldn't see anything. There's no sign of him. Either of them.
Now that is what I call a cliffhanger, Dale. That's right, Tucker. I don't think this duel has any winners. I suggest we call it a tie.
Everyone tune in next time. I really hope they both survive. As usual, I'm the Masked Ranger. Bye. Oh my god. Oh my god.